Welcome to Universal Tenders, your one-stop tender service provider for all tender needs. We haul out tenders up to 47 feet and 25,000 pounds, ensuring safe and efficient handling. Our paint and fiberglass expert team offers comprehensive repair services, from basic touch-ups to full restorations. We provide certified engine services, offering maintenance, rebuilds, and repowering solutions. Additionally, we are proud to be a trusted Suzuki Marine dealership. Our facility also features a fully stocked marine supply store, offering a wide range of accessories and parts for your vessel. At Universal Tenders, we pride ourselves on precision tender services, ensuring your vessel receives the highest quality care. Contact us today to schedule your next service or repair.
Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Rich as Fuck podcast, the show where we talk money, life, and all things yachting. Today I have the honor of having the yacht chef, aka Dean Harrison, with me. Welcome, Dean. I am very much looking forward to our chat. And before we get into it, everybody, please remember the show is purely educational and informative and should not be misconstrued as financial advice. With that being said, let's get stuck in. How are you, sir? It looks absolutely gorgeous in the background.
I mean, yeah, I've just been for a swim. We're on anchor at the moment. It's just guest off. So the crew are just down the back there having a bit of a swim. So I've just ducked up here for this and I'll be back there in 40 minutes. So...
Nice. Well, I won't keep you long because it's not a lot of times we get those days, so you got to kind of squeeze it out there.
Exactly.
Nice. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of the people listening to this will be familiar with you. But for those who don't know you, can you tell us a bit about yourself, how you got into being a yacht chef and all those nice things?
Yeah, so I'll try to make this super quick. So my background is obviously a chef. I did my apprenticeship for 4 years when I was 15 to 18 years old, roughly. And then I just knew I just wanted to travel. I just loved to, I traveled when I was super young. So I lived at all different places around the world when I was younger as well. So I just had this travel bug. So I went straight to Europe and I ended up doing a 2-year Euro trip, working, traveling, backpacking all around Europe. And while I was in Antibes, I turned up. The old Dill Bar was there. So I went down to the marina there and saw Dill Bar. And I was like, man, they have to have chefs, right? So here's me in my board shorts and a singlet knocking on the back of Dill Bar's door just saying, hey, give us a job. Thought I was top shit. Thought I was like the best chef in the world. I did, 3.5 years in restaurants and they were very lovely about it, but I didn't get a call back. So I was just like, shit, what do I have to do? Looked up STCW, NG1, all that stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to Australia, regroup, and I'm going to come back a little bit more prepared. So what happened was I got a call, or I saw a job on Gumtree at the time, a super old platform.
What a way to expose your age, eh?
Oh, dude, yeah. Old. But I responded to an ad that said, do you want to work on the Great Barrier Reef as a chef? And I was like, that sounds pretty good. And so I applied. And it was this 35-meter liveaboard boat that slept 40 guests and 20 crew, sole chef. So that was my introduction to the yachting industry, or the boat world. And I was cooking for around 200 people a day by myself because I was cooking for the day boat as well and the guest changeover every day, which could be up to 80 people. So that really prepared me for look, it was a great boat, but it was shit pay and it was tough. It was a tough job. So I basically went from that to like a 30-meter yacht to a 37-meter sail yacht to a 60-meter yacht, and just slowly progressed. It's all through the South Pacific, Australia, New Zealand. Then I finally did the Med Caribbean, and that was that's been my career so far.
It's amazing, dude. I feel in a way that first gig could have gone one of two ways. It could have either completely deterred you and be like, fuck that, I'm never working on a boat again. Or it could have been, okay, it surely can't get worse than this, so let me just pursue, which I'm guessing
Literally,
was the
literally,
latter.
every job has been progressively better. Like it's just gotten better and better. From sole chef to 2 chefs to now 3 chefs here on Project X. It's great. I'm at the peak of my career. I'm super happy.
That's amazing. That's very well deserved as well. And what would you say for those getting in? And we're going to dig into some of these Instagram questions I got sent in a bit. But a lot of people want to know, what are the biggest challenges you find being a yacht chef?
I mean, there's several, but I think it's the challenge. Like you get a lot of people, especially young guys, that are super eager to get into this industry. And, I didn't get into this industry for about 7 years. So I had a lot of experience in restaurants and stuff like that. That's not even like a lot for me, but that's really going to gear you towards being able to create any dish, any cuisine at the drop of a hat. Like that is what a yacht chef is. It's like you don't just wear one hat, you wear all of the hats, and you need to be able to cook every single cuisine. So I think that's one of the toughest things about being a yacht chef.
I see. And what about the rewarding side of it? What's the pros of being a yacht chef?
Oh, lots of pros. You get to obviously eat all the time, but no, it's like the chefs usually get left to their own department. They run it the way they want to run it. And I think the flexibility, which is one of the greatest things, but also one of the biggest negatives as well, because you have a lot of flexibility to, what needs to get done. You work when you need to work, but also you don't get to take breaks like the deck crew or the stews where they have their set breaks. So you are at the beck and call of the guests, whether they wake up at 5 a.m. or go to bed at 12 p.m. or want a snack at 3 a.m. You are there all the time. Mm-hmm. So it's both a positive and negative for sure.
Yeah, no, it's a commendable job. And I said to you before we started recording, for sure, the last thing I will ever take on and doing it. But I'm speaking for the deck where we appreciate you guys. I mean, with the sustenance we need from sweating outside, you guys provide. So kudos to all the chefs out there. And you recently joined Project X, as you mentioned. Very well-known yacht in the industry. Drop dead gorgeous. The first time I saw that boat, my jaw fell to the floor. What's it like, your first few weeks there?
So, yeah, I mean, when you join a boat, it's obviously very overwhelming. Just, learning the boat, learning where everything is. So the first week was very, very much like overwhelming, but I think now we've done one charter. We absolutely killed the charter, got a great tip, and I feel way more comfortable after that first charter. I think I just needed to prove myself and just make sure that I was comfortable. And but yeah, incredible captains, crew. Like I know everyone says this, but like genuinely, I've only been here for 4 weeks, but it's been so cool so far. I've been welcomed with open arms, and it's such a cool boat for socials, for creating content, which I also do.
Yeah.
And massive galley, which is it's great. 3 chefs.
That's amazing. Yeah, I know a few people on there, and it's they all have happy reviews. I enjoy the positive side of the social media. There's certain boats over the past few years. There's been sometimes too much focus on certain things, and the ball gets dropped. But we won't be getting into that today. And on the topic of social media and branding, you've built quite a solid following. I believe 100,000 plus on Instagram, and pretty cool YouTube channel I checked out. Do you have any content strategy for yachties wanting to get out there a bit more in the online world?
I think that's like it's very overwhelming for people to think of a strategy. I say you have this with you all the time. Just get it out. whether you use it or not. Later on in the down the line, you might just use it for something else. But people just overthink stuff. It's like you need to be open to obviously criticism, but I think people overthink it a little bit too much. And I just went for it. I just posted. I just regularly showed what it's like to cook and live on board a yacht. And it's just, people just enjoy that raw content, that just authentic content. I show my shit food. I show the good food. It's just like, This is what it is.
Yeah, and you show the gorgeous crew days off, and you also show what it looks like when provisions arrive for an Atlantic crossing. It's sexy and unsexy. Yeah, exactly. You're right. That's really sound advice. I really struggle with that because, I mean, Afrikaans boy, Afrikaans town, definitely. I mean, my friends at home tease me for making little finance videos. And I was also overthinking. I remember I actually sat down with Alex from Yachting World, who's a good friend of mine. He came to visit me on the boat, and I asked him some advice. And I was telling him, hey, look, this is my plan. I'm going to post this one, and it's all going to make one big picture. And he just said, no one gives a fuck about that. People's attention spans are this short. They want things out all the time. And I think the way social media is structured and the billions of people that use it, you lose relevancy if you're not constantly out there. You just get swallowed by the algorithm. So it's entertaining. And I think another that I just realized is, as yachties, we already have pretty cool lives. The average accountant or lawyer back home, they eat for something like us that seems mundane, like just scrubbing the teak. To them, it's like, what the fuck? What is your job?
Yeah, it's people like, I got a good mate who's just like, where do I start? I said, just start. Just grab it, film the sunset on the boat. Like people, as you said, like scrubbing the teak or doing, like if you did a time lapse of scrubbing the teak, people would lose their minds. Like it's so simple because we've got such a crazy life and we don't realize because we become numb to it. And I think it's important to remember how lucky I am to be sitting here in Antigua going for a swim off a $100 million yacht and just hanging out with some cool people. It's like, that's crazy.
It is. And we're all so guilty of it, me including, is we do sometimes forget to stop and smell the roses. It's like, just look around you, but there is 99.99% of the world will give an arm and a leg to be where you are sitting right now. And it's important to remember these things and kind of take it in and be mindful of all that.
Exactly. It is.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier in the pod that you have always kind of had a wanderlust bug and an adventurer thing. So one of the questions we got on the little Instagram poll was, how do you balance wanderlust and adventure whilst remaining engaged on board while staying financially sound?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's, because I've got rotation. So it's like, I don't have a base. I have several investment properties, but I don't have a base. And I think that as long as you are focusing some of your money into investments, I believe you should still be able to enjoy the money that you've worked for. So it's a very fine balance of like enjoying your life, but also, squirreling a little bit away. I don't know, like I worked hard to where I am today, 14 years later. Finally, I'm at a stage where, I can earn really good money and have rotation and have a great balance in life. But I think, you just you gotta work towards that. You can't just get it the first couple of years and expect to be on rotation as a, whatever. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time, a lot of hard work, and you can't just have everything like that.
That's good. And I kind of want to double click on something you said there. So you mentioned that you do all these things, but you're also squirreling away, and you mentioned investment properties. What do you do with your money? Well, how do you deploy? How do you make sure that whilst you work hard for your money works hard for you?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really, had a certain strategy. I think diversifying is what I go for. I'm someone that's a little bit of a gambler, I guess, in a sense but I like to put my money on multiple horses. I'm not just someone that will just be like property. I've got, I'll go for, cryptocurrency, shares, creating companies and creating content. Like I've got so many different avenues that I've created for myself. It hasn't happened straight away. It's just been gradual steps of like, oh, I actually really enjoy this. Maybe I can monetize it. Or, I'm going to learn a little bit about shares. I'll buy a couple of shares. So it's not like an instant thing where you do everything at once. It's kind of just a gradual, over a period of time, you pick up these things that you research or love to do.
I get that, and you're right. I think a lot of people overthink it in the sense of you don't need to, from day one, from your first paycheck, have a strategy in place. The biggest hurdle that I've seen for people to overcome is not getting swallowed in from the get-go with the shiny object syndrome, where you know what it's like. You see a green decky come in from a place that necessarily didn't have abundance in the past, and now you get given a $5,000 charter tip, and now the Louis Vuitton bag is so much more attainable.
Exactly.
So it's kind of just getting those muscles ready and building those money habits from the get-go to be able to build a future for yourself. But I'm seeing it a lot with the clients and the yachties that I deal with. It's very tricky to pull them out of that spending hole once they started, because you start justifying every purchase. Like, we had a disgusting charter. Those people were terrible to us. Hence, I deserve a Rolex. Like, okay, but what if we flip the script and be like, that Rolex could have been your yacht in 20 years' time invested, Just kind of framing things a different way.
Yeah, I think it comes with maturity as well. It's, you see that often with the young green crew that, want to buy designer bags or a Rolex or, just to prove something. But I think as you age, you realize what's valuable to you. And I think you got to figure that out though, because I don't want to discourage people from like treating themselves. That's not what we're, here for. I think they should treat themselves, but they should think about other options as well. It should be a conscious decision about doing, if you buy this, invest in that. Like, pick both. Don't just...
Yeah, exactly. There's a concept in personal finance that really stuck with me when I first read it. It's by an author called Ramit Sethi, and he hammers down on this. So he says, go choose departments in your life, subdivide things. Like for you, let's use you for example. You obviously care about travel and experiences a lot. Let's say that you don't give a shit about shoes. Okay, so you won't be spending money on sneakers. So in that department, you got to cut mercilessly on and be like, okay, I'm going to be extra attentive on that, but then spend extravagantly on your travels, because that's the thing you find value in that gives you joy. And since doing that, it's made me a lot more aware of the small, you don't get poor overnight. Your bank account depletes by the constant $15 Starbucks here, and then flying business because you want to treat yourself to go on your next leave, things like that. So you're right. The goal of this is not to be cheap and not to enjoy life. It's just be a bit more conscious of what you're spending your money on.
Yeah.
And you mentioned as part of your diversification is business, which I really like, because there's one thing just buying assets and hoping that they rise, but another thing, building a business and making sure that equity that you put into it becomes your venture. So I believe you started the Yachting Academy. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so TYA was started through an idea from me and two really good friends from back home. We actually worked in a restaurant together, and now he's a captain, and the other one's now it's just a chief officer. He just qualified, so that's cool. So yeah, us three started this app, which basically the idea behind the app was to have everything into one place. So if you want to think of this as a place that you can come to, apply for a job. A captain can come to your profile. So you set up your profile like an Instagram profile. It has all your food pictures, all your deckhand stuff, your stewardess, tablescapes and all that stuff. So you apply for a job. The captain goes, "Oh, who's this?" It goes straight to your profile. It shows all your certificates, all your work there on a page. They can click your CV, they can click your certificates, and then the next day you could be hired. That's the idea. We want to make it fun and like a community where people can create groups. So there'll be chef groups, stew groups, engineer groups. You go there, you chat, like, "Hey guys, this is something that I'm looking for. Can you help me out?" So it's just a big place where everyone can come with just big communities of each department within this app. It's developing every day into something else, but that's the aim here, is to basically create TYA into a one-stop app. It's got your crew agents, it's got your Facebook, your Instagram, and it's just for yachties.
That's a good idea, and I'm in the process of doing the same, and it's a lot trickier than you think.
Oh yeah,
app building is. I think it's because we use so many of them so intuitively and easily, and it's so easy to download. But building the things, it's not a fucking joke.
it's
and it's not cheap either. But yeah, you've got a good thing going, and if you have good partners, and it's a scalable thing that doesn't take too much of your personal time, that's a good side hustle.
Yeah, for sure. It's we're not making money. That's not the point. The point was to build something that it could replace all of these other things that are out there, where everyone's like, they're basically being told to go to all these places and sign up at this place, sign up. It's like a one-stop shop where everyone can go. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's super fun. So that's the main thing.
Nice. And yeah, obviously helps to have a big platform to kind of get that initial momentum going and to get the snowball rolling down the mountain.
Exactly. It does help. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to hop on some of these questions if you're ready for them.
Let's go.
For the ease of your mental health and some people being very obnoxious, we will not be going through all of them. So sorry, listeners. Some of them are super random, so I cannot wait for your responses. Okay. Do you feel like the yachting industry needs to be more diverse?
Yeah. It's the elephant in the room. I think it's up to the captains and HODs to, consider everybody equally, depending on experience and certificates and whatever the boat requires. So, yeah, I think this industry has gone through stages. It used to be lots of Australians and Kiwis, and then it's gone to, South Africans are basically the new taking over. So
you can say it. It's a fact.
It's a fact. I don't know who's spreading the word over there, but it's working. You guys are taking over. But it really comes down to experience. If you don't have the experience, you don't have the CV. I'm not going to hire you. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. I base it completely off. If you can cook good food, I'll hire you.
Yeah, merit. All based on merit. Random one. What's your favorite brand of flour to use for sourdough?
Flour. Ooh. You know what? I've been using King Arthur bread flour at the moment. It's a very high protein flour. I know I'm going to get shit for this because it's American, but it works. It gives you a great sourdough.
Well, I'm not going to object. I'm just the one that eats it. So.
Okay.
Do you have a signature dish?
I get asked that a lot. I don't really like to answer this question, but if I was to, it'd be a Big Mac bao bun. So it's a really super soft bao bun. You know the baos?
Yeah.
And it's just like a take on a Big Mac. It's like with the Big Mac sauce I make, lettuce, cheese, smashed beef patty. It's delicious.
I saw it on your story. Oh, and on this charter, I think you made that, and it looks pretty. That's a genius little dish. I mean, that fools any charter client. Like, ooh, a Big Mac, but bougie.
Yeah, bougie Big Mac. Yeah, that's it.
Bougie Big Mac bao bun. Obviously, and this question comes with the obvious caveat that we sign NDA, so don't need to be obliged to answer this. But any famous guests that you have cooked for?
Yeah, of course. I think you've got the celebrities that come on board a lot, and you got the really rich people that no one knows about. It's but yeah, there's too many to name here. I feel like the best I've ever cooked for is the Prince of Monaco. He was basically just said, cook me whatever you like for 10 days. It was one of the best trips I've ever had.
That's awesome. Prince Albert, what a G.
Prince Albert, yeah. And we saw him a few years ago, and he remembered us and came up and said hello, and yeah, it was cool.
And it's epic. And on the note of South Africans taking over, he's married to a South African.
He is. He is.
And Elon. Woo. Anyway, yeah, we have 4 people asking the same question. How do you make the step from cruise chef / sous chef to head chef?
Oh, I was super lucky. I did a big jump. I went from a 37-meter sole chef on a sail yacht, by the way, to the opportunity to work on a 60-meter yacht Arians, which was a pretty busy charter boat. But the opportunity came from a captain that watched my socials for about 2 or 3 years. He saw how I worked. He saw how organized I was. He saw the food that I cooked and the effort that I put into my food. And he actually came to the back of the boat and poached me from that boat. He said, "Can I talk to the chef?" And he yelled for me actually while I was on the sailboat. And I came over. I was like, "Shit, what did I do on the weekend? I thought I was in trouble."
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'm going for a job." This is Captain Dean Pilati. He goes, "I'm going for a job on a 75-meter and a 60-meter in America. I'm flying there tomorrow. Whatever boat I get, I want you to be the chef." And I was like, "Who is this guy?" Anyway, 4 days later, he calls me back and he's like, "All right, we got the 60-meter. When can you get over here?" And I flew over a few days later and, yeah, got the opportunity to work on a big charter boat. The rest is history.
That's amazing. I remember that boat blowing up when I just started out in yachting when Jared was working with you, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I mean, it shows you that's definitely an unorthodox way of getting a boat, I guess.
I didn't get to my point, but I think the bottom line is just learn as much as you can from that head chef. Like, it's not about cooking. You need to come to that boat and know how to cook. Obviously, I'm going to teach you bits and pieces, but the secret sauce is dealing with the crew, the captain, the ordering, the provisioning, the stowing. Like, there's all these things that it's not about the cooking. I promise you, it's about the management. You know, at this level where I've got 2 other chefs, I need to be someone that can manage these guys and make sure that they are doing their jobs and that the galley is being, I guess, it's running the way that it should be because I'm managing it properly. So that's what it is. It's which I'm actually going to teach on the Yachting Academy. I'm doing a masterclass there. So wait.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's going to teach you all
this. Yeah, I guess when you step into that role, you already have to. It's fine tuning the logistics because you can't just run out like in a restaurant. Hey, we ran out of butter. You're like, oh well, we're in the middle of Panama. We're fucked. We don't have butter. Make a plan.
Exactly. Yeah. There is loss to it, and the cooking is a very small percentage of that.
Awesome. And then future-wise, where do you see your career going? Business ventures, etc. And then to wrap things up, what legacy do you want to leave in this industry?
Oh, so to the first question, I guess I feel it would be silly for me to leave. I've never given myself this is the age that I'm going to leave or whatever. I think that each year has just gotten better, more opportunities have popped up, and I'm really just trying to make the most of what I've achieved over the last 14 years. I say 40 years old, which is in a few years, 3 or 4 years, but who knows? Like I'm going to have a foot in the door for sure. But the legacy I'd like to leave is, I think, just be a good human, be a good leader. If you become a HOD, if you become, someone in authority, I think it's your duty to look after the junior crew, all these people that should look up to you, and just be a good person. Like this, look, it's a yacht. It is yachting, but it's not that big of a deal. Let's be honest. Like,
Yeah.
People are here just to have fun, be on holiday. Don't take it too seriously. Do your job well. Look after the people. Be a good person.
That is prima, and that's exactly the type of vibes I want to finish this off on. I really appreciate you coming out. I'm sure that people will love to be hearing a bit of a long form chat with you. And you're a legend, dude. Keep up the good work, and best of luck with your season in the Caribbean.
Sweet. Thank you so much for the chat, bro. Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate.